Before I start, I want to say thank you to those who subscribed, shared videos, or referred others to the channel. It's very much appreciated. So I came across someone's post that mentioned 501c3, and I've always heard about this, but I've never knew what it meant or to what extent, so I decided to look into it, and I was shocked on what I found, so I wanted to share that information with you as it pertains to those under the 501c3 rule. So what is 501c3? 501c3 is a status that allows any organization that is supported by the general public to be tax exempt along with other benefits. This means whether an Israelite camp or a church, the offerings, tithes, and revenue generated are tax exempt. Those with this status are indirectly controlled by the government through the IRS. Any organization that breaks the restrictions or prohibitions can have their tax exempt and benefits revoked. And although some may go against the grain in terms of this policy, whether camps or churches, they will either deny things within the Bible or omit things altogether. So now let's look at some of these restrictions of the 501c3 church prohibitions. 1. Expose conspiracies. 2. Criticize the New World Order. 3. Say or publish anything negative about any politician, Republican or Democrat. 4. Criticize government agencies and bureaus. The IRS, FBI, BATF, CIA, EPA, DEA, OSHA, DOJ, etc. 5. Criticize an institution of government such as the White House, the Congress, the Federal Reserve Board, or the Supreme Court. 6. Encourage citizens to call or write their congressman, senator, governor, mayor, or other public official. 7. Criticize any proposed or pending bill or legislation that would take away the rights and freedoms of the people. 8. Make disparaging remarks about or criticize any other faith group, cult, or religion. 9. Expose or criticize the New Age movement. 10. Support or encourage a law-abiding citizen militia. 11. Support or encourage the Second Amendment, the right of the people to keep and bear arms. 12. Discourage young women from getting an abortion or endorse the pro-life movement. 13. Teach that abortion, especially partial birth abortion, is murder and is killing of innocent babies. 14. Identify homosexuality as a sin and an abomination to God. 15. Express an opinion on any subject or issue. 16. Appeal to people's emotions by employing evangelization method, such as fire and brimstone preaching, not considered a reason approached by the IRS. 17. Discuss or identify threats to Christianity. 18. Discuss subjects or topics the IRS deems sensationalist. 19. Criticize well-known public figures or institutions the IRS deems worthy, such as the super rich elite, international bankers, the Hollywood movie industry, etc. 20. Publicize or broadcast information on any topic without giving credence to the opposing viewpoint of Christ's enemies. 21. Publish and offer books, tapes, or produce that expose the elitist plot against humanity and God. 22. Criticize the Pope or the Vatican, or contrast the new Catholicism with the truth found in the Holy Bible. Note: only liberal churches are permitted by the IRS to criticize the Catholic Church. 23. Criticize the United Nations or such globalist groups as the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderbergers, and the Trilateral Commission. 24. Criticize the Masonic Lodge, the Order of Skull and Bones, or other secret societies. 25. Highlight or otherwise bring attention to immorality of public officials or corruption in the government. 26. Complain of government wrongdoing or injustice such as happened at Waco, Ruby Ridge, and elsewhere. 27. Criticize the Jewish ADL or other Jewish lobby groups. 28. Say anything positive about the religious rights or patriot movement. 29. Support homeschooling, home churches, or unregistered churches. 30. Spend money on missionary projects or charitable causes not approved by the IRS. 31. Promote or encourage alternative health care, herbs, vitamins, etc. 32. Expose false teachings of any kind by anyone. 33. Support or encourage persecuted Christians suffering under anti-Christian regimens in Red China, Cuba, Russia, Israel, Saudi Arabia, the United States, and elsewhere. 34. Ordain a pastor whose training or qualifications are not approved by the IRS. 35. Advocate or teach any Bible doctrine that is politically or religiously against any public policy, abortion, feminism, gay rights, etc., currently being enforced by the IRS. So what does this all mean? If you've been asking your pastor if being homosexual or bisexual is alright, or if getting tattoos are okay as long as it's Christian, or more infamously, the law is done away with because we're under grace, all of this is false. Romans 6:15 and 16. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law but under grace? Elohim forbid. Know you not that to whom you yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants you are to whom you obey, whether of sin unto death or of obedience unto righteousness. In this verse, Shaul clearly tells us that being under grace does not mean we can sin as much as we want. Yahusha himself also tells us in Matthew or Matthew 5:17, think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill. Yahusha didn't come to do away with the law but to fulfill what was spoken of concerning him in the Old Testament and the prophets. I also want to mention that there are some who claim that Yahusha does not exist or Yahusha is not in the Old Testament. However, the foreshadowing of his coming is Yeshayahu or Isaiah 53:7. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow and acquainted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our grief and carried our sorrows, yet we did not esteem him. Stricken, smitten by Elohim, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and Yahuwah has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shearer is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment, and who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off out of the land of the living. For the transgressions of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased Yahuwah to bruise him. he has put him to grief, when you shall make his soul an offering for sin. He shall see his offering, he shall prolong his days, and the will of Yahuwah shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the travail of his soul, and shall be satisfied. By his knowledge shall my righteous servant justify many, for he shall bear their iniquities. This prophecy is undoubtedly speaking of Yahusha, and Yahusha has fulfilled this prophecy as he said he would. Well, I hope that you found this informative. All praise and glory belongs to Yahuwah, and to Yahusha HaMashiach and the Holy Spirit, and to you and yours, Shabbat Shalom.